You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. Welcoming back to the show is my good friend, Bruce Cameron. Now, I will say this about Bruce. Of course, we're going to talk about A Dog's Purpose, the book, as well as the movie coming up and all the other wonderful stuff he's got going on. So I'm excited to have Bruce on the line, and we're going to chat it all up and get everybody all excited about the movie, which is right around the corner. So everybody hang tight. We'll come back right after this commercial break. You're listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your 4-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Want to know who the latest trendsetters are in Hollywood? How about Irish setters? Find out who's been spotted with Spot, chowing with their chow, and shopping for Gucci with their Poochie. Get the scoop on all the latest celebrity pet patter right here. Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link, and joining me today is not only New York Times and USA Today best-selling author, but I hear and have seen with my own eyes, he is the #1 New York Times bestseller of the book, A Dog's Purpose. Welcome back to the show, Bruce Cameron.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Thanks so much for having me. You're exactly right. It's #1 as on the New York Times bestseller list as both the trade paperback list and the mass market list. So when it comes to paperback, I'm the king.
Well, congratulations. Well, I have to ask you, obviously, A Dog's Purpose has been out for a while, and we'll talk about the movie coming up here shortly. But how is that? I've got to try to get in your mind a little bit, which is very scary for me, but I will attempt to do this, Bruce. How is it going from writing this book, A Dog's Purpose, seeing it go to the New York Times bestseller list, and then X number of, we'll say, months, years pass by, then all of a sudden it's revisited again, and now not only is it on the list, but as you said, on the #1 spot in 2 different categories. Is it easy to wrap your head around that, or are you still just totally in shock? Give me what you're thinking.
This little book, this A Dog's Purpose, has just kept performing. It came out July 10th, 2010, and it has been on the bestseller list or barely off of it ever since. It not only has it spent 52 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. It's actually now 55, but it was 52 weeks not long ago. And the way it got there was so interesting because 3 of those weeks came a year after the paperback was released. Around Christmas time, all of a sudden, there it was on the list again. Nobody expected it. It just showed up. So what's it like? It's like an overnight success, except for it took me my whole life to get here. But it certainly has caught the public's imagination, and I am gratified and humbled and thrilled that everybody likes it so much.
Absolutely. And the great thing, Bruce, we've talked over the years about all your writing and everything, and I'm sure your fans already know this, but, this overnight success was not an overnight success. It wasn't necessarily like your very first novel that you penned went #1, and you've had #1s ever since. This has been quite a journey of your own.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wanted my whole life to be a writer. I wanted to be an author, a novelist. In fact, I declared in my early 20s that it was my life's ambition to be the #1 New York Times best-selling author of something. And that was in my 20s, and then years and years went by without me selling anything, not so much as a short story. And I wrote short stories. I wrote 9 unpublished novels before my 10th book finally took off. I sold 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. It became a New York Times bestseller. It became a TV show. It was big life-changing thing for me. But I still haven't sold a novel. That was a nonfiction humor category book, and as were my next couple of books. So it really was A Dog's Purpose that was not only my first published novel, but then it went all the way. Now it's, as you say, it's number one. So what is it like? It feels like I wanted to do this for so long, and now that it's here, I'm having a little trouble taking it in.
It has to be. I mean, I'm so proud of you for everything you put into the book and seeing your career moving forward in such great strides. It's it's exciting for me. So to try to even just get my toe in your shoe a little bit there, it's got to be fantastic, awe-inspiring. Probably wake up in the middle of the night thinking, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah. I mean, every New Year's Eve, Catherine and I, we don't make resolutions. My wife, Catherine, and I instead declare what the next year is going to be. We don't say the year of the monkey. We'll say things like the year we get out of debt, the year we go on vacation. We declared 2016 to be the year that our movie came out, A Dog's Purpose. Then they changed it on us and made it and changed the date to January 27th, 2017. So I guess I don't even remember what we declared this year to be. I think we were just so shocked by what's happening that we're having trouble putting it into words.
Absolutely. So once again, I know your fans probably know the story well, but I want to make sure everybody's aware of it, because even the book, A Dog's Purpose, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't like you had an epiphany and decided, hey, I'm going to start writing dog books now. This was actually sort of a healing type book for Catherine as well.
Yeah, so I had met this woman. Her name was Catherine. I was pretty enamored of her. We were headed up the West Coast. We were going in the car. We were going to meet her family. They're up in the Bay Area. And Catherine had just lost her Doberman pincer, Ellie. And Ellie died, I think, she was 4 years old, so it was way too young. And it was Catherine's first dog. She had never had a dog before, and so she was completely unprepared for the wave of grief that overtook her. She turned to me and said, I will never go through that again. I am never going to have another dog. And this was really bad news for me, because I had started to picture that Catherine would be pretty big in my life. And I've always had dogs. I can't imagine going through life without a dog. So I had to come up with some way to convince her that it was actually really important for us to get a dog. And I told the story. I told the story of a dog that reincarnates and remembers each life, along the way learning many lessons and realizing there must be a purpose for all this, or it wouldn't keep being reborn. And that, after I told her that story, she turned to me and she said, that's your next book. You have to write that as a book.
So that's amazing. So being the good boyfriend, you got to come up with something to make them feel good. So you, being a brilliant writer you are, come up with this story sort of off the cuff, we'll say, that not only heals her, makes her feel better, but also starts the strides towards the obviously the number one best-selling book, A Dog's Purpose.
Yeah, and it was not only off the cuff, but normally when I tell a story, it's like I'm fitting together the pieces in a jigsaw puzzle. And when I'm writing a book, I'll start putting the pieces together, and then I'll realize, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be, and I have to take the pieces off the board and try it again. With A Dog's Purpose, this thing came to me as if someone else built the crossword puzzle and then glued the pieces together so I couldn't screw it up. I mean, I heard this whole story in my head, beginning to the end. Every character, every scene, it just came, boom, which never has happened before since. I don't know why. I just know that it felt like a gift, like a gift from God, that I was given this book to write. And certainly it has been a gift to my career. It has been a gift to my life. Catherine liked it so much that she married me. That was a gift. So everything's going great, and it all just clicked on that ride up the coast.
And like all good stories, you end up getting the girl in the end. So that and the beautiful, right. Yes, the beautiful and talented Catherine Michon. Well, I always had to put that
beautiful.
In there.
Yeah, she's beautiful and talented. I didn't have to shoot any bad guys like you do in some stories. I just wound up with the beauty. Yeah,
that's right. And you talked about always, the big deal breaker there, which you've always had dogs in your life. So how would you go on in this relationship if there wasn't a dog? But also, your daughter is heavily involved with animal rescue and helping the furry friends out as well.
Yeah, that's right. When I was growing up, my dad would buy dogs from a breeder. They were usually AKC. I'm not sure they all were. They were Labradors to every single one of them. And then, so I thought that's what you did when it was time to get a dog. You had to buy one from some breeder. And then I got involved in the world of rescue because my daughter runs Life is Better Rescue in Denver, Colorado, and her whole thing is to go into kill shelters and find the ones that are marked for execution and say, we can save this one. And usually it's because it has a medical problem that can be fixed that their organization will pay for, or it's because the dog needs to be re-socialized. There's usually some reason why they need to dump the dog, and she'll take it, and she'll find a home for it, and that's her specialty. It's not just dogs. It's cats, horses. She's done reptiles. She's even done a couple of chickens, which I think is crazy. So the short answer is my daughter is involved in rescue. It has changed the way I look at the world. I no longer buy dogs from breeders. I get them from shelters. Specifically, I get them from my daughter's rescue. So she can pick out the best dogs. She's so good at matching people with dogs. And she matched me with Tucker. Tucker is our little 26-pound dog. I think he's down to 25 pounds now. He's a little thinner. He's so scruffy and funny, and he's got so many different dogs in him. No idea. When people say, what kind of dog is Tucker, I say, I don't know.
That's right. He rules the roost. He is a handsome feller, that's for sure. And yeah, everybody can take a look at of your on the back of your books. Obviously, there's a picture of you and Tucker there as well. And Tucker's had his own fame on the silver screen as well, being in Catherine's movie.
Yeah, he was in the movie Muffin Top: A Love Story. He played a dog, which he did quite well. I got cut from that movie. I don't know if you knew this, but
no.
Yeah, I was in a scene that got cut from the movie, and I was sleeping with the director, okay? I was sleeping with Catherine Michon, and I still got cut from the movie. And the scene, I played man in a bar. And so I got to tell you, I think I'm pretty good at playing man in a bar. But for some reason, they cut the scene anyway. And I'm not in A Dog's Purpose. They wanted real actors. I volunteered to play anything that they wanted, and they said no thanks. So Catherine and I co-wrote the screenplay, but we didn't get the star of the movie.
Thanks, but no. Stick to the writing, kid.
Yeah.
Well, some of us, I'm on radio, so maybe that's something there, not on the silver screen as well. So you know what they say about radio voices.
Yeah. I've been told that I have a face for radio. So
there you go. Yeah. Exactly right. All right. Well, we're going to take a little commercial break here and let our sponsors have a chat with y'all. But we're going to come back and talk to #1 New York Times bestselling author Bruce Cameron. Talk to him a little bit about the movie A Dog's Purpose. And we'll sort of go from there. It's going to be exciting. I cannot wait for the movie to come out. So everybody, just hang tight. You're listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of happy dog for life because she gets fed Dynovite and Lico Chops.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Lico Chops free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E.
And now 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops.
Free this week at Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, this is Tim Link, animal communicator and pet expert and host of Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have you ever wanted to know what your pet is really thinking? Do you want to find out if they truly understand what you're trying to tell them? Ever wish you could build a better understanding and closer relationship with your pet? Well, now you can. Learning to Communicate with Animals is a 4-part on-demand workshop. In the workshop, you'll learn the essential techniques that are necessary to communicate with animals, including what is animal communication, breathing correctly to achieve the perfect state to communicate with your animals at a deeper level, using guided meditation exercises and method to communicate with animals, and how to send and receive information from your animals. So if you're wanting to learn how to communicate and connect with your animals at a deeper level, visit PetLifeRadio.com/workshop and purchase and download Learning to Communicate with Animals. You'll be glad you did.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. And continue our chat with my good friend, #1 New York Times bestselling author, Bruce Cameron. Now, Bruce, tell us about Dog's Purpose, the movie, as far as when is it coming out and what can everybody sort of expect from the movie?
Well, the movie will be out January 27th this year, 2017. It stars Dennis Quaid, A.J. Appa, Britt Robertson, who is just perfect in it. And I say that just because she's in so many movies and she's so good at playing a young girl. She looks, in the movie, she looks like she's 15, 16, and of course she's in her 20s. Peggy Lipton of Mod Squad fame, she's in the movie. And of course, the real stars are the dogs. We've got just amazing dogs. The main dog, the dog that is reincarnated and remembers each life, is voiced by the actor Josh Gad. Yeah. Josh is hilarious, and I actually had the honor of seeing the movie with Josh for the first time for both of us, and he is such an emotive guy that he laughed at all the jokes and he cried at all the moving parts. It was really an experience to watch the movie with him. He brought so much to it. It was so much fun.
Now, sitting there, and it's great cast. I mean, it's just a fantastic cast. I think they did a fantastic job putting it together. I've seen the trailers and can't wait. I will be ready to go when it hits my neighborhood theater. I already know where my popcorn is, so I'm good. So we're great to go there. So tell us about the sort of the sneak peek. How was it the first time? Here you are. You've written the book. Now you and Catherine, you've written the screenplay for it, and now it's actually on film or digital or whatever they use nowadays. How was that part of it? The surrealness of that. I mean, did you get lost in the moment, or was it, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I'm seeing here?
We were actually invited to be on set. So we were up in Winnipeg where the majority of the scenes were shot. We were up there during what I thought was a mosquito apocalypse because there were so many mosquitoes. I thought they're taking over. So we donated a lot of blood involuntarily to the mosquito population. But I will say that one of the things that is most striking is to suppose that this story that I told to Catherine Michon in the car one night on our way up the coast of California resulted in so many people with jobs, from drivers to grips to gappers to TAs to people serving food to people cleaning to security guards, and then of course the actors, the director. All of these people are there because of that story, because I made up that story. That was a very impactful moment. That really felt to me like I had accomplished something good and have given all these people jobs. I was really moved by that.
It's got to be amazing, and if you've been on set, I've been fortunate to be on set myself and have some little tidbit roles, we'll say behind, what do they call them, background noise, Tim, don't speak, just smile and wave, type of roles.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how much time it takes per scene. And then the amount of people, like you said, the support mechanisms, there's so much that goes into it. It's not just, a handful of people. There's a reason why films cost so much to make. There's a lot of people, not only the talent, but all the people behind the scenes that make this thing work.
I know there's so much going on. And to the uninitiated, it gets boring and weird awfully fast. You're like, what could possibly be going on? Nobody seems to be doing anything. But of course, there's plenty going on. There's lots of setting and getting the camera and the right sound and everything set up correctly. But I will tell you the secret for not getting bored on a set.
Okay.
The secret is have a lot of dog actors in the movie, and then you can play with the dog. And so I was on set. I suppose it might have been their purpose that I would speak to the actors and the director and producer. All I did was play with the dogs. I was on my knees, wrestling with a corgi. I was playing with Bolt. That's just who I am. And these dogs were fantastic, and they were so loving. They've all been trained with play and affection and not treats.
Oh.
So, and how in some movies you'll see a dog and it's looking off camera because it's looking at the person who's going to give it a treat.
Right.
These dogs don't get treats. These dogs are rewarded with play and affection. They're allowed to play tug on a toy. So that's the relationship they have. They're so eager to please that they're spending all their time looking where they're supposed to be looking. And then they can bring real emotion if they can figure out what you want. And there's this one dog, Bolt. He plays Buddy in the movie. And Buddy, for your listeners who have read the book, Buddy is the final dog that you meet along this journey. And this dog, Bolt, when he looks at the camera, you swear that he is sad when he's supposed to be sad and happy when he's supposed to be happy. He really seems to get what we wanted from him. So I thought he was amazing.
There you go. Some of them are just naturals, and they know how to pull at your heartstrings or even make you laugh when that time comes.
Yeah. Dogs are amazing creatures, and they want so much to please us that when they figure out that, when I pick up that this is the emotional mood of what's going on and I react to it accordingly, I get to play. So they'll start doing that. It was just wonderful.
Oh, that's got to be fun. Got to be so much fun. So I've got to ask you this from the writer's standpoint, the author of the book and writer of the screenplay. You hear the old adage of, it's nothing like book. So I've got to ask you, and I always say everybody go out and pick up a copy. I'm sure they've already got a copy of A Dog's Purpose, but the movie tie-in book is out there, and that's the one that's hit the #1 New York Times bestseller list. But can you step away and say, hey, this is exactly like the book? Is it close to the book? Or what's your thoughts on all that?
Well, if you made a movie exactly like the book, it would have to be a really short book or a really long movie. That's why I'm saying book before movie. There's so many characters in A Dog's Purpose that have their whole story, the whole backstory, just sort of hinted at. It doesn't really come out why they are the way they are, what their motivation is for what they're doing. So I really believe this book before movie thing, this movement to try to get people to read the book ahead of time so that you'll have a roadmap. You'll know what's going on. It won't actually spoil it for you because there's a lot of scenes that are going to be new to you if you have read the book. And, those decisions had to be made because, again, things had to be told much more quickly. The story had to get out much faster. And so to accomplish that, some things were stitched together, some things happened that, and a lot of stuff was cut. So that's what I'm going to urge, is you consider reading the book A Dog's Purpose. Read both of them. Read A Dog's Purpose, and then the sequel, the second in the series, is A Dog's Journey. If you go in there armed with that, you'll have a much better experience. But if you don't feel like doing that, I still say go see this movie. It's a wonderful movie. You can take your whole family. You can take your grandmother. You can take your grandson. It doesn't matter. They're all going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, they will definitely enjoy the movie and definitely enjoy the book too. So I encourage you, either get your book and read it before you go to the movie, or go immediately afterwards and get the book afterwards and do your own comparison, take your own notes on that. And there's as a matter of fact, they're not a sponsor, but we'll just say a major brick and mortar bookstore that has initials B and N happens to be outside our major theater. Literally, you walk out of the theater and right there is the brick and mortar store. So for those of you who live in my neck of the woods in Atlanta, then there's no excuse. They're right next door to each other. So pick up a
That's
and then
wonderful.
That's right. And of course, while you're there, you pick up a copy of A Dog's Journey, which is the sequel to A Dog's Purpose, and you've got to read that one too. That's an exciting book as well. So, Bruce, tell us a little bit then about how once the movie is out and done, what's your life like after that? Because I know you continue writing. I'm sure you just recently had a little respite, but I'm sure you got some writing done then as well. So tell us what's – I know that you never stop.
I don't feel like I've written a word in 2 months. It's been just so hectic trying to keep our arms around all the appearances and the marketing. But I will tell you that, yes, that's my profession. I'm continuing with it. And I've got a book coming out in May. It's called A Dog's Way Home. It is about a dog who is banished from the city of Denver because of breed-specific legislation. And because of that, the dog winds up being relocated hundreds of miles away. Figures that this is wrong and kind of crazy because the family couldn't possibly have intended for her to be so far away. And so she sets off on her own to find her family. And she heads into the Colorado Rocky Mountains and must live in the wilderness on her way back to Denver. And it's an adventure story. It's told from the point of view of a dog. It is very similar to A Dog's Purpose in many ways. I just think anyone who loves the movie or the book A Dog's Purpose is going to love this one, A Dog's Way Home.
Man, that is fantastic. I'm making my mental note because you're going to be back on the show at that time. I know it because I will demand it. We'll go ahead and put a place marker in for you. But that's exciting. Well, that's pretty good for a guy who is not a dog writer. All of a sudden, I think there's a little bit of niche that we're all glad that you found there, Bruce.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind it at all either, I'll tell you. And it's so much fun to think that I get to have my life be about dogs. I love dogs. And they're very, I think, emotionally and spiritually, dogs are really well connected. And if you are a person who is at all sensitive to the emotions of a dog, you can really get a good benefit in your life if you go out and rescue a dog, get one off the street, help a dog find its way to your home. And there's almost no better feeling than knowing that you have saved an animal who, through no fault of its own, found itself away from many support systems. And dogs need people, and we need to be there for them.
Love it, Bruce. That's right after our own heart. So couldn't have said it any better. So we appreciate that very much, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. So, Bruce, once again, congratulations on everything. #1 New York Times best-selling book, A Dog's Purpose. Everybody go up and pick up another copy of it. Pick up the film version, or the film cover. It has a brand new, exciting cover on there. So we're excited about that. And, of course, get you a copy of A Dog's Journey while you're there as well. So, Bruce, hey, congratulations. The movie coming out. I'm so excited for you guys. And I'm going to look forward to circling back around with you and talk to you again real soon about the next project.
All right. It's always a pleasure to be here. You guys take care.
All right. Very good. Well, we're coming to the end of the show today. I want to thank everyone for listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. I want to thank our producers and sponsors for making this show possible. If you have any questions for me, comments, or ideas for the show, you can email me. Email me at tim@petliferadio.com. That's tim@petliferadio.com, and I'll be glad to answer your questions, entertain your comments, and bring on the people you want to hear from most. So until next time, write a great story about the animals in your life. Put it in a blog, an article, a book, or in a movie even. And who knows, you may be the next guest on Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have a great day.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.